makes her bid for a little piece of history.
Hello, welcome to the Belmont Guineas and Bolton Sprint edition of the Run of the Race, where we will review all of the punting form data to come out of Saturday's race meeting. And Mark, there was a bit of rain about, but it managed to hold off. It wasn't too bad until the end of the day.
Yeah, it was pretty good considering the forecast earlier in the week, and I suppose the forecast earlier in the week was for William Pike to ride a few winners, and he did that again. 4 on Saturday, 201 now throughout WA this season.
It's just extraordinary. Willie riding at the peak of his powers, and to surpass 200 winners for the season is a feather in his cap. Let's have a look at the races themselves. We'll start with race number 1. This was an excellent performance by this 2-year-old on debut from the D-Max stable, and he did say that only bad luck beats this horse. He declared it. It was $7 into $5. Let's have a look at Montelena.
Side is Maraschino, 2 away Montelena, going through it on the inside of Kelvin, and then came Eye of the Day on the inside of Interstate, and still last of all is Rhythm Star. Coming around the turn, Snippy Miss got away from Maraschino, who's under pressure to try and stay with it. Kelvin pulling out wider, and Montelena comes through it on the inside nicely. Is tracked up well, then Eye of the Tiger. Here's Montelena though, coming after Snippy Miss very strongly indeed. Montelena swept to the lead. Kelvin down the outside, followed by Maraschino. Montelena wants to duck in, but it's clear. Kelvin trying hard. Montelena doing it well. And an impressive debut by Montelena by 2 lengths second home Kelvin.
Montelena recording an impressive debut win. Recorded a figure of -2.6. Now, this is one of the best figures we've seen for this 2-year-old season. I think Beethoven in that Perth Stakes recorded a -4.2, but other than that, I can't think of a figure that we've talked about on this show that's been near that.
Now, the Katakata wasn't particularly high racing, but Dig Deep did run a -2.8 as well. So I was looking through the figures just like you were, Brittany, and Montelena's figure of -2.6 is right up there with the best 2-year-olds this term. It was a really good debut, fastest sectionals as well. Clearly the horse to follow. The horse to forget is Interstate, has been unplaced all 4 starts. Slowest sectionals on Saturday, despite being towards the rear in the early part of the race. And I will forgive Maraschino here, was wide for the majority after starting from the outside gate and also carrying the top weight as well.
Agree, but that gate made it a little bit hard for Maraschino on the weekend, but clearly looks like a horse that has plenty in store in its future. Let's have a look at race number 2. This is yet another slowly run staying affair, but Defiantly travelled beautifully and ultimately got the chocolates.
So who travelled up pretty well. Mr. Alba the inside. Media Baron sweeping up 4 deep. Art's underneath it, out 3 wide, trying to go with it. And then came Musical Art. Diplomat Express is held up. Unending is out wide with Magic Las Vegas, and Wadaroo is right off the track as a corner. I'm a Live Man trying to kick back on the inside of Storm Dancer. Media Baron joined in. Art trying to go with Media Baron. Magic Las Vegas down the outside. Defiantly's travelling well. Just needs a gap now. Defiantly, it's starting to come through at the 200. Media Baron in front. Defiantly, I'm a Love Man fights back. It's Defiantly though, racing to the lead from I'm a Love Man. Media Baron the outside. Defiantly clear. Defiantly beat home.
Defiantly winning there after I'm a Love Man at 100 to 1, led them up at a tempo almost 11 lengths slower than benchmark.
Yeah, it's a bit of a recurring theme. This slowly run staying races makes it a bit of a lottery, and Defiantly was big odds to win on Saturday. Probably is the follow horse here, but really just a token pick, because how would you know? It's another low rating race. Fastest sectionals for the winner. Forgetting Storm Dancer was ridden on speed for the first time in its career. That was the excuse given by Connections, but it was still a pretty poor effort. And I will forgive Heart here. It was wide all the way. It was a big betting drifter. I don't know if that was about the horse or about the jockey in Patrick Scorsese. He was having his first ride in WA and he was 3 wide the trip.
Yeah, it was definitely very unlucky. Good luck to you if you managed to find the trifecta. It paid enormous with I'm a Love Man managing to hold on for third, courtesy of that slow tempo. But if you did that, well done. Let's have a look at race number 3. This one taken out by Festival Miss. It was the first time we saw her back at the races since finishing second to the Velvet King back in December in the Lastia. Let's take a look at her returns.
And on the turfs has gone back to the tail of the field and to the fence. Up before the turn, 4.50 to go. Vital Blast in front, Double Jeopardy travelled up strongly. Lido Beach the inside, Festival Miss right there for Pike on the fence. Father Nick getting held up, then Captivated Point. Route 88 is trying to get to the outside, doing that now. In the straight, Double Jeopardy has raced up on the outside of Vital Blast. Festival Miss with an inside run. Route 88, Father Nick has weaved clear as well. And then came Lido Beach. Festival Miss got up on the inside of Lido Beach. Father Nick is down the outside with Route 88. Festival Miss in front. After it, Father Nick, but Festival Miss as well.
Well, it was an easy watch if you were on Festival Miss. Pike able to get that rails run. It just opened up beautifully and she sailed to victory.
Yeah, good win on Saturday. I don't think she makes the file though. Only 2 horses in the file. We'll start with the negative first. That is Double Jeopardy. Was really well supported. $3.10 he went off, second favourite, but he's another flop since he came from the east and he's really in the sack file now. I'll forgive Father Nick, who was impeded on straightening, had to get clear running around 150 metres from home, and he's also the follow horse. It was a really good return. Fastest sectionals, not only for the race, but also for the meeting. And if you look at his second up efforts, and he'll be second up next start, he's had 3 runs, 2 wins and 1 minor placing. Follow Father Nick.
And the Pierces were really confident. They'd said on radio during the week that they gave Father Nick a huge each-way chance at the price, and well done to you if you followed their advice, because Father Nick made an excellent return to the racetrack. Okay, the next race, this was another one for the Cerise and White, and Battle Storm was probably the aptly named horse given the forecast on the day, but Battle Storm winning here.
Is wide and last as they come up to the turn. Captain Sterling on the inside of Ambiente. Don't Fuss has done plenty of work out wide. Chicks Picks just off them. Battle Storm getting to the outside on the back of Don't Fuss, and then came Hoboken Sterling Estate behind them. And well back is Lord Ludlow, one short. How to Fly into the outside. Hoboken in the straight. Don't Fuss travelled up on the outside to Ambiente, and then Captain Sterling with Battle Storm down the outside, and then Chicks Picks inside the 200 though. It's Don't Fuss with Battle Storm coming together, and then Captain Sterling the inside. On the outside, Battle Storm just in front though from Don't Fuss near the line, and Battle Storm beat Don't Fuss.
Battle Storm winning. This one's interesting because the previous race won by Festival Miss over the same trip, the 1,000 metres, and when we look at that lead tempo to the 600, both of those leaders in both races were travelling benchmark. Flat 0, Battle Storm just getting home the bit better.
Yeah, 0.6 of a length higher rating than Festival Miss, and I've no doubt at all that he's the better galloper of the 2. He is the follow horse here. He stays unbeaten. He came home with the fastest sectionals on Saturday, and I think critically he was coming off a very high rating before of -8.5. It is often difficult to back those things up, so I think he did quite well in the circumstances. I think even at a shade of odds on, I thought he was grossly overpriced, and it was pretty much a certainty on the day. We'll forget How to Fly here. Her best days are clearly behind her. I think she started big odds on Saturday. For once, she has been a money muncher throughout her career. And I'll forgive Mantime. He finished last, and he was well supported in the betting, 20 into $9. Came back with a bit of a problem. We'll forgive him.
And I do believe he's going through the sale next week as well, so it'll be interesting if some new connections pick him up. Okay, we'll take a quick break, and on the other side we'll have a look at the back half of the meeting, including the 2 features.
Turning up for a picnic with chicken chunks? Ooh, orchies? Turning up for a picnic on a horse? Delightful! Life's better with horses. See you at the races.
Welcome back to the run of the race, where we are getting closer to having a look at the features, including the big rating Belmont Guineas. But first, let's have a look at the performance of Friar Fox. This horse second up since returning from Melbourne and was able to get the job done.
Wide. Spiritual Warriors travelling well, nowhere to go on the inside, back 5th last. Then Salon de Cheval, well back Nakoni's Boy of Royal Strata, and Pointer's last. Coming around the home turn, Play Hard has the front, leads a half to Lucky Roar. Resistance on the inside's got something to give, nowhere to go. Then Son of Bacchus, Friar Fox looking for the way through, he's trying to angle out, followed by Not Again Ken. Grey Enigma is down the outside, and now Send My Love is starting to come through. Friar Fox got held up, comes with Send My Love now. They're after Play Hard and Son of Bacchus. Son of Bacchus hit the front. Send My Love, Play Hard fights. Here's Friar Fox now. Friar Fox, Send My Love. Friar Fox just in front. Send My Love.
Well, it had to go to the photo, but Richie's naked eye was right. Friar Fox declared the winner.
Yeah, the market got this right. There was only 2 horses they were interested in, Send My Love and Friar Fox. I'm still not sold on Friar Fox. I'm still probably bleeding from the fact she didn't win the WA Oaks at Ascot before going to Darren Weir's yard. So maybe I've got a little bit against her. But I'm going to follow Send My Love out of this race. Her PB of -9.4 from a fast run apprenticeship race is well above this grade. She may be a bit of a non-winner, but I think she's got more ability than any other horse in this race. She was a little bit unlucky on Saturday. She just failed to catch Friar Fox, and if you look at the sectional, she was behind Friar Fox in the run, and I think that was slightly the difference between the two of them. Plenty of forget horses in this race, but I'm going to pick on Salon du Cheval, mainly because he goes around at short prices. His ratings are going down, and I've never really been one of his fans.
Okay, Mark for getting Salon du Cheval out of the Friar Fox race. Let's have a look at one of the features of the day. This one, the Bolton Sprint, where Valor Road was sent round as a $1.24 favourite. Very, very short, but on weights he looked like a certainty, and here's his win.
Up before the turn, Rebel King leads by 1 1/4 Valor Road, who's kind of holding the inside. Market Ruler on the outside. Lockroy travelled up well for 4th. And then Mad Brad getting up on the inside. Friar's Gift is struggling. Electric Light gets to the outside now for Nucky. And well back is Big Caroline as a corner. Valor Road's under a bit of pressure here as it comes through in the middle. On the outside, Rebel King. Market Ruler joined in as well. Then Mad Brad and Electric Light is right down the outside. Lockroy and Valor Road have come together. Valor Road the outside and Lockroy in a great battle. Valor Road just in front of Lockroy. Floyd flies, but Valor Road's in front, and Valor Road has beaten the space.
Valor Road returned a figure of -3. Now, we wouldn't have given you his ratings from his time in Adelaide, so just to look back at that, his Euclay's victory was -2.9, so very similar to figure as to what he recorded on the weekend, but his Goodwood defeat was almost -5, so a really good performance in the Goodwood, albeit against better horses. Valor Road's personal best is -7.1, and on the weekend a -3.
Simon, after the race, said the horse absolutely hates wet ground, which is remarkable when you look at his record, because he's 3 from 3 on soft tracks. It was the first time he'd ever raced at Belmont, and it was his first win as well. I think he won in spite of the conditions. He's only gone up 4 points because of the win, so now he's got a handicap rating of 96, and I think if Simon can find another of these listed handicap races, Valor Road will be very hard to stop. Forgetting Big Caroline has finished back-to-back lasts, and the wet track really should have suited her. Didn't expect her to win. She was very big odds, 150 to 1, but that was a pretty poor performance by Big Caroline. And I will forgive Market Ruler here. Failed to back up from what was a very high rating Bowfine Stakes, and you can say the same for Electric Light as well.
And 1,000 metres probably more up her alley in that previous victory as well. Okay, let's have a look at the Belmont Guineas, and William Pike had a big decision to make which Cerise and White runner he would choose to ride, and in the end his decision was justified, but it was a good performance by the stablemate. Let's have a look at them cornellaring Mystery Miss and True Attraction.
There as they come to the turn, Flower of War moved up stylishly on the outside of Gates of Babylon. Getting out, Forgotten Star gets to the outside, coming around as well. Flirtini is running about 4th or 5th, cornering from Rebel Knight, and very wide out is Classic Pro. Mystery Miss is right on the back of coming around, and True Attraction follows the stablemate. Inside the 250, coming around, is coming with a good run on the outside, but here's Mystery Miss, Forgotten Star, Flower of War and Gates of Babylon. Mystery Miss and coming around, Forgotten Star back in the centre, then True Attraction. Mystery Miss in front though, drawing clear from coming around. True Attraction flies. It's Peter's Power again though, and Mystery Miss victorious in the Belmont Guineas, but have a look at those figures. The leader going almost 11 lengths quicker than benchmark. I dare say there will be a lot of horses that you can forgive out of this.
Really hard race to put a file together, this one, Brittany. Forgiving Flirtini was wide throughout, came back with a slightly elevated heart rate and a slow recovery as well. Probably too bad to be true for Flirtini, so she's the forgive horse. Forgetting was really, really hard. I think pretty much every horse in this race ran really, really well. Hyperspace finished 8th. It was a PB rating for Hyperspace, but still several lengths off the winner in this event, so we'll forget Hyperspace. Following Mystery Miss, I don't think there's anything to choose between her and True Attraction, but True Attraction will go to the Aquanita Stakes, and that looks a lot deeper than the Belmont Oaks rather. I think Mystery Miss will win that barring accidents.
I would imagine that she should, based on what we saw on the weekend. She was dominant, and I think we can probably follow a number of horses out of the race. A high rating race, often we've seen when we've looked on this show that they have come out, and good form race to follow. All right, there was still one more to come after the Belmont Guineas. This one, a horse that loves this day, War God.
Wider and back behind them, Candlelight Star getting up on the inside of Hard Starter from Touches, Silver Settlers Creek. Ridden up is Rock on Tommy. Elegant Blasters going backwards. Diablerie went through on the inside from Dark Prospect and plays the game last of all. Around the turn, War God has got the lead from Daddy. Great again. He's coming through in the centre very nicely indeed. Candlelight Star is tracking him. And then came Military Ruler. Further back, Settlers Creek. War God in front. On the outside, Great again is after War God, and then Candlelight Star. War God is still in front though. Great again can't get there. War God in front. He won the Bolton Sprint last year. He's going to win the last today. War God, he loves this today.
War God winning there and recording a figure of -3.6. His last win was on this day in the Bolton Sprint last year, and on that occasion he recorded a figure of -5.4. Still a really good performance.
And his win before that was in June as well, so he absolutely loves this month. Maybe he likes Wimbledon at home, he gets a bit relaxed. Not really sure, but he doesn't make the file here, mainly because I think he's won his race for the year. Following Great again, finally beaten at Belmont on a wet track, but lost no admirers in the narrow loss. Still ran a figure of -3, so that was a pretty good run. Forgetting Rock on Tommy, looks like his best days are probably behind him. He was beaten 27 lengths on Saturday. He was wide, but again, he's not really ever been one of mine. And I will forgive Happy Harry here. Cast a plate before the race. They weren't able to put it back on, so he raced without a shoe on his near 4. It was a pretty good run in the circumstances.
All right, that is a look at the 8 races from Saturday. Who are our best performers of the day?
Clearly, it was Mystery Miss and that very high rating Belmont Guinea, so -8.8 overall, and even taking into account the class of the race, which was listed status 4.5. So good performances there. And as you mentioned before, Brittany, follow horses out of that race. So provided they can back up out of it pretty well, they're generally going to be worth following. Closing sectionals, this is very easy. Father Nick all the way through. Fantastic return. You'd think he'd be winning next start.
Well, we'll be following Father Nick wherever he goes next start. We'll take a quick break, and on the other side, we'll see if our tipsters were able to find any at a long odds on the weekend.
Arriving for a hot date on a moped. Disappointing. Arriving for a hot date on a horse? Fantastic! Life's better with horses. See you at the races.
Welcome back to the Run of the Race, where it is time to have a look at how our tipsters fared on the weekend. And Mark, it was a day that if you could find a few of these winners, you could make some serious ground because there were some nice juicy odds.
Yeah, lots of points on offer. 3,139 if you got the card, which included Defiantly at $30.40 and War God in the final at $21.90, and also Play Hard to Place in race number 5 at nearly $13. So lots of points on offer.
Did this week's winner manage to find either Defiantly or War God?
Found both of them. Would have had an absolutely brilliant day on the punt. His name is Gary Illich. His alias is J-Man23. And he is a part owner of War God. So the last 30 minutes of the meeting at Belmont on Saturday were one to remember for Gary. But look at the tips he had. Montelena, Defiantly, Battlestorm, Valor Road, War God. Brilliant performance, nearly 2,400 points.
That is an absolute fantastic story. To think he's a part owner of War God. Naturally, he had to have his best bet on his horse, and he's been able to deliver on more occasions than one because he found Defiantly as well. All right, how does that situate our top 8 leaderboard?
Well, Gary moves up to 3rd place on the standings, just about 130 points behind the leader. That is still Glenn Montague of Montague Partners. He scored just over 100 points on Saturday. Not one to remember for him, but he still leads 5 rounds in to this 19-round competition.
And there's not a lot between these people at the top, only about 100 points separates them. So could be anyone's top place when we look at it next week. This week, your opportunity on Strickland Stakes Day. The Strickland, always an entertaining race. Let's have a look at the last 3 editions.
In big pain. Zaran's hit the front, but here's It's a Him letting go. And then Respondent coming after It's a Him. It's a Him in front. Respondent coming through now. Zaran's the inside, but it's a Him. He's back to his best in the Strickland. He's drawn clear, and It's a Him goes home to win the Strickland Stakes in fine style.
250. State draws the whip. He feels for Scales of Justice. Zarance keeps on coming. Scales kicks though. It's Scales in front. Zarance won't go away. He has to work the favourite Scales of Justice. Zarance keeps coming. Zarance, Scales of Justice. Scales of Justice and Zarance split the line. Scales of Justice. I think it's Scales of Justice. A length and a half away, Pernamu. Warwick draws the whip. Material Man in front. Pernamu down the outside, charging. Material Man in front. Pernamu coming. Material Man clinging on desperately. Mighty win. Grand victory.
Material Man, Scales of Justice and It's a Him, recent winners of the Strickland. But Mark, it's not good news for the winner of the Strickland because none of them have won a race since.
Yeah, you've got to go all the way back to Mr. Moe, who won the Strickland Stakes and then went on to win the Railway Stakes. He's the last winner of this race to ever win another race in its career, which is a remarkable stat. So whilst this is a Group 3 and it's worth $150,000, maybe you don't want to win on Saturday.
I think the owners will be hoping that they can debunk the hoodoo if they do win on Saturday, but it's quite an alarming statistic. It's quite unbelievable. Anyway, we will see who our winner is this Saturday on Strickland Stakes Day. Hope to see you out at the races as always. Free entry to Belmont Park, and if not, we'll see you next week on the Run of the Race.
He makes her bid from